Mendix 11.9 is out now and greatly improves the effectiveness and accuracy of Maia Make, introduces scope refinement for Maia Plan, lets companies set a vision and goals in Compass, and much more. Grab a coffee, sip your tea, or crack open a beer because this release is chock full of improvements and new features. Let's dive in. Maia Make got some significant improvements this release, letting you build higher quality apps faster using Maia Chat in Studio Pro. Next to overview pages, domain models, and microflows, you can now use Maia to generate and fix a broader range of model elements, like workflows, custom pages, modules, and OQL. Beyond generation, Maia can also detect and fix errors in documents it understands, reducing the back and forth that slows development down. This update also gives you more granular control over generated output. You can undo changes to individual documents, making it easy to roll back a single unwanted change without losing everything else that Maia produced in the same session. Together, these improvements make Maia a more complete development companion. Less context switching, fewer manual corrections, and more of your application built through conversation. Early in the scoping phase, when ideas are still forming, requirements are incomplete, assumptions are unclear, and teams often spend a lot of time going back and forth just to get a solid foundation. And that's where Maia Plan can help. With scope refinement, Maia Plan becomes a collaborative sparring partner during project scoping. As you work through your project scope, you can ask Maia to refine specific sections. It then suggests improvements, highlights gaps, and improves clarity. You stay fully in control. You decide where to refine, when to refine, and what to change. This allows teams to iterate step by step, improving quality as they go, instead of trying to get everything right up front. And it's especially powerful for business users because it lowers the barrier to create high-quality, well-structured, and complete scope documents. Once your app is live, feedback starts coming in fast, and manual triaging becomes time-consuming, and important insights might get missed. The Maia Feedback Processor, built directly into App Insights, helps with this by automatically turning raw feedback into actionable output. It categorizes incoming feedback, groups similar items, and transforms them into clear, backlog-ready user stories. Instead of manually sorting, prioritizing, and writing stories, teams can immediately focus on what matters and decide what to build next. And this means, very simply put, faster feedback processing, cleaner and more structured backlogs, faster delivery of improvements, and applications that drive more business value. Try it out and let us know if this works for you and your team. Do you ever have one of those moments where you're curious about what your colleague changed in the last commit? Starting with Mendix 11.9, you can choose a commit from the history pane to compare it to the current state. This will open the comparison pane, which is a detailed textual overview of all modifications, like the changes pane for uncommitted work. Comparing to the current state is just the first step. In the coming months, we'll allow selecting two commits to compare against each other and make progress towards visual diffing, showing the changes in an easy-to-understand and visual way in the editors. Sometimes your application is not doing what it's supposed to, either because of an error or maybe it's just slow and you don't know why. Luckily, we've made it easier to find out what's going on for applications on the Mendix Cloud by adding runtime traces to our Datadog integration. These traces give you all the information you need to troubleshoot issues fast and effectively. Let's take a look at how this works. I've configured the tracing integration with Datadog for my app on the Mendix Cloud. In Datadog, I can now see all the OpenTelemetry metadata that is added in the Mendix Cloud. I can also see the traces that are related to each log message, including exactly which microflow generated the log message. And I can also see the submicroflows. I can also trace across apps. In this example, I have an app that consumes a REST service that is exposed by another app. If an error occurs in this integration, I can use the distributed traces to track the request and response across applications to find out where the error occurred. Datadog will show me all the logs and traces for this integration in one screen, with nice color coding the different apps. With the traces, I also have enough information for AI to find the root cause of issues that occurred in the apps. It will retrace the interaction between the two apps and find the location and root cause of the issue. We hope this will make your problem solving more efficient. We're introducing an upgrade to Mendix Cloud that lets you send your application's access logs directly to your APM tools. This gives your teams much better insights into how users interact with your apps and helps you spot unusual traffic patterns much faster. You can also combine these access logs with other log sources to strengthen your security information and event management, giving your SIEM a more complete picture of what's happening across your landscape. All in all, it's a simple way to improve both observability and security. Check out the release notes to learn more. We're excited to share a new feature that makes it easier to get your low-code journey off to a strong start: Maia Vision and Goal Setting. Here's the thing. Most organizations jump into low-code without a clear vision of what they want to achieve. In fact, the majority of customers tell us they don't have a defined low-code strategy, and that often leads to slow adoption and missed potential. Defining that vision isn't always easy, but that's changing with Maia. You now have an AI assistant that sits down with you. You can imagine a virtual seat, and it helps you pin down what success looks like for your organization. Through natural conversation, Maia asks thoughtful questions, helps you clarify your goals, and guides you towards a vision that reflects what you want to accomplish. After just a short conversation, you'll have a clear, personalized vision statement that gives your team the vision and direction it needs to start delivering value, all without the need for guesswork. Get access to Maia Vision and Goal Setting through Compass today. If you own a marketplace component, you can now flag a release as a security fix when publishing. During the release flow, you can select which earlier versions are affected and optionally add common vulnerabilities and exposures or common weakness enumeration identifiers, CVE or CWE for short. This makes security updates easier to spot and act on. In the Components Releases tab, affected versions are clearly marked. Users see the recommended remediation, for example, update to version X or higher, and subscribers are notified. If a CVE or CWE is provided, the marketplace also shows a link to the reference. We've already started backfilling known security fixes from the last 2 years of advisories, like the rich text widget, for example, so developers get better visibility even for existing components. On the Teamcenter front, we're excited to introduce the new Teamcenter BOM Component for Mendix. With this widget, you can retrieve and display Teamcenter BOMs directly in your Mendix applications. It delivers fast and consistent loading, so you won't run into delays or experience inconsistent widget behavior. Standard Teamcenter BOM configuration features like revision and variant rules, column configuration, and property editing are available directly inside Mendix. Plus, you can enrich your BOM views with third-party data from sources like ERP and MES systems, giving you one complete picture. The Teamcenter BOM component is available to download on the Mendix Marketplace. And now onto the Beta Corner, where we show you some new features that are available in beta and are ready for you to discover and play around with. But keep in mind, there is no official support for beta products and features, and don't use them in production. With that disclaimer out of the way, let's dig it. Progressive web apps are an excellent way to build mobile applications quickly. They offer flexible user interfaces, strong performance, and access to many powerful capabilities through modern web APIs. But they also come with two fundamental limitations that make them unsuitable for a range of real-world use cases. For one, they cannot be distributed through the Apple App Store or Google Play, and they're limited to whatever functionality is exposed through web APIs. When a required capability is not available on the web, there is simply no way to bridge that gap. Until now, that is. The primary alternative was to build fully native mobile applications. While native apps are powerful, they come at a significant cost. User interfaces need to be rebuilt from scratch without reusing existing web pages, styles, or widgets. And on top of that, native development introduces a complex and often fragile build process that relies on multiple third-party tools and lengthy compilation steps. With the PWA Wrapper, we address both of these challenges and unlock a new way to build apps that feels native while using web technologies. The PWA Wrapper is a lightweight native application fully maintained by Mendix that runs your Mendix progressive web app inside it. It provides access to a curated set of native capabilities, allowing your app to be distributed through the app stores and go beyond the limitations of standard web APIs. At the same time, the complexity of native development is completely abstracted away. You continue to build your app using Mendix and web technologies without having to manage native code or compilation pipelines. We take care of the building and maintaining the wrapper for you, so you can focus entirely on delivering functionality and user experience. The PWA Wrapper is currently available in beta with an initial set of native capabilities. We plan to extend this list over time and ask for your feedback. If there are native features you would like to see supported, please share your ideas on the Mendix idea forum using the tag PWA Wrapper. The PWA Wrapper beta is available on the Mendix marketplace and is compatible with Mendix 10.24 and up. Please give it a try and send us your feedback on the PWA channel in the Mendix community Slack. We're introducing AI log summaries to pipelines to help you more easily understand pipeline runs. We built this feature so you can focus on what happened and what to do next, instead of digging through technical logs. Pipeline logs tend to be detailed and technical, which makes them information-rich and helpful, but can also make them difficult to interpret. When a pipeline step fails, teams often spend quite some time reading through this generated output and may need to ask others for help just to find out what went wrong. Now that we've introduced AI log summaries, you can request a clear explanation for a pipeline step directly from the pipeline's UI with the press of a button. Pipeline securely translates the system-generated logs with an LLM, which returns a structured, easy-to-understand summary that explains exactly what happened in the pipeline step. If a pipeline step failed, it will help you understand why and what you could do to fix them and successfully retry. This means you can understand your pipeline's behavior faster, interpret outcomes more clearly, and ultimately keep your pipelines running more effectively. The last beta feature of this release is portable app distribution, which provides a highly flexible and straightforward method for local testing and isolated server-based deployments. To enable portable app distribution, Studio Pro provides an effective deployment solution that assembles the necessary dependencies and generates configuration files during the build process, which results in a distribution file. The outcome is a self-contained, ready-to-run package that can be deployed across different environments. You simply extract it and run it, eliminating complex installation procedures and making it easier and faster to get apps up and running across different machines. This reduces setup time and potential configuration errors. After posting our meetups on the Meetup platform for the past 10 years, we're switching to the new Mendix Events app on April 1st. After using both platforms for the last 6 months, we're now switching to the Events app full-time and shutting down the groups on the Meetup platform. The new Events app makes it easy to find an event because it provides an overview of all the upcoming events and lets you filter by title, country, event type, and more. When you've found an event you want to attend, click on it to view the details, see who else is joining, and register yourself. The great thing is that you can do all this with your Mendix account. No need to create or maintain a separate account for the Meetup platform anymore. And for people who want to attend but don't have a Mendix account yet, we've added guest registration, so they can still join the fun. We'll be adding new features and improving your event experience over time. So go to bit.ly/MendixEvents to check it out and register for your next event. Make sure you bookmark the link, and I'll see you at the next meetup. This might not be an MTS or LTS release, but it's packed with a ton of productivity goodies. You can find the full list of updates in the release blog on mendix.com/blog and the release notes on docs.mendix.com. You can download Studio Pro 11.9 at marketplace.mendix.com to use all these new features right now. Thank you for watching. I'm Jan de Vries, your low-code host, and I'll see you in the next video.